Hello, I'm Gina T, your spirit-led life mentor. Thank you for listening to my sometimes rambling content. I hope you uncover something wonderful for you. We're at episode 111. What is your true value? I've been thinking a lot about, the tricky nature of being human. There are so many moving pieces, and most of the time, we aren't even aware or don't understand what they all mean until we've gone through some dark, shadowy valleys and reached some of the highest highs. Aren't words great? Because you can say a lot of them and say nothing or say very few and say a lot. I mean, say very few words and say a lot of profound things. But at this point, um, it's interesting because listening to so many things being said, many words are sort of vague and just take you into a direction of your perspective at the moment. You can lift yourself or someone else up or take them down with one word. It has been done. And I know I know people personally who have gone down a darker path because of one word someone said to them. This normally depends on the circumstances, the experience at the time, timing, and your tone of voice, and how often you repeat those words, even to yourself. One thing that's not always easy to do is to connect the dots between what was once said and how you behave or your actions in the present moment. It's not clear when something was said that brought you to your current conclusion of yourself right now. It's a curious thing how a lot of words from the past have helped form your opinion of your self-worth in the present. And a lot of them aren't even true. It's just a habit, a habit to believe those things. And it's the thing that you're attached to, that you're not letting go. And sometimes you don't even know you're supposed to let go of those things, but you become attached to your opinion of your self-worth right now. And a lot of it has nothing to do with who you are right now. You were a different person even a year ago. But can you imagine 10, 15, 50 years ago? Um, anyway, a lot of words are said so carelessly without permission from your brain or someone else's brain. Or maybe that's not true. Maybe there was some acknowledgement of something, an agreement. I talked about this in the last video, and if you haven't listened to it, that would be great. I will reread what the fascinating science is around it and how your brain perceives what's coming into it and only wants to protect you. So what you focus on, that become what you focus on, that becomes what you get, lies in the concept of selective attention and neuroplasticity. Your brain actively prioritizes information that you focus on, virtually shaping your perception of reality and influencing your actions toward that focus. This can begin to look like a self-fulfilling prophecy as you reach alignment with that particular focus. The reticular activating system part of the brain acts like a filter, highlighting information that aligns with your current focus, and it filters out the rest. When you repeatedly focus on the same thing, the neural pathways connected with it become stronger, making it easier to perceive and act on associated information. You can look that up and find that information and more as well. It's pretty fascinating, but your brain is trying to protect you from the things around you. And sometimes um, getting that focus doesn't protect you because it's focused on the wrong things, the things that it's been told erroneously. Here's one of the examples that motivated me to do a ton of research a few years ago. My entire life since childhood was about being productive in one way or another. If I wanted any attention at all, I'd do extra chores or be helpful and later work various roles in the family business. I always had good reviews in jobs later on, where it sometimes helped me move up the ladder a bit. Besides being a good worker at work, I was a good wife, a good mom, a good single mom, a good mentor to my children once I learned how, because I didn't know and my parents didn't know. I wasn't taught. And it took me a while. So yeah, I made mistakes, but I was a good housekeeper and gardener, and did all the things that needed to be done everywhere, all the time. Woohoo! Look at me go. This was until I had some serious health issues with adrenal fatigue, cortisol overload, frozen shoulders, and just fizzling out in general. And those days, no one knew what this was all about and dismissed my debilitating condition um, with condescending answers. It also wasn't their fault. Doctors were not taught everything they needed to know to specifically help women, especially in the hormonal area. They would always say, your thyroid is fine. But you have more than a thyroid. There are so many other glands that help and organs that help you with your hormone balance. Anyway, the point is that I essentially was working myself to death. I tried everything and was really only existing purposefully only for my children who were not adults yet. I couldn't do much of anything and began like besides work and began to feel myself self-worth plummet. I was a human doing and not a human being. Weirdly, I wasn't comfortable with just being. It was during that time of stopping most activities that I slowly realized that this is what I had learned from the words that were pumped into my brain from early on. What they translated to was I was only valuable and only as valuable as I was productive. I'll say that a little differently. I didn't have much value unless I was productive, doing things that served others. It was a belief system and it was being passed on from one generation to another. Is this something you can relate to? If so, I'm sorry. That's something intrinsically good, such as being of service, which is a main part of being human, was turned into a tangled part of your pain. Here's where the disparity between words and actions becomes significant. I'm not a mental health professional, but you can certainly do your due diligence to find answers and to begin to find your value where it truly lies. You are a valuable component of this present time and place, and you have a lot to contribute just by being who you are. Your value is rooted in the part of you that comes from eternity and goes into eternity, essentially your spirit. Or, as we know, energy does not get destroyed. It just changes from one form to another. So that's the part of you that is extremely valuable. Since everything is energy, you never didn't exist. Although this is the first time you're existing as you in the body you have with all the things that make you who you are. Part of your purpose, especially as an adult, is to take personal responsibility for your present and future. You can uncover your fundamental value and begin living from a place of higher value and understanding. It's clear that the word isn't working um, the same way anymore. And if the world, sorry, it's clear that the world isn't working the same way anymore. And if we are to discover a better way to move into this new era of world history, which we are making right now every single day, we each need to find our way on this journey to level up. Begin at the beginning by learning your true value and seeing it from the point of view that each of us that each one of us has the capacity to live more courageously and generously. Thank you for listening to this channel. It really means a lot to me. And thank you for all my subscribers who've subscribed and continue to listen. It surprises me because 2 years ago, when I felt the inclination, it was a huge push to do this, and I didn't want to. It was a difficult thing. I had to muster up courage, and I was still scared, but I still did it. So, it means a lot that I have a bunch of subscribers and that you are loyal, that you're still here, that you're listening. Thank you. So check the description notes for my websites where you can check out my books, Be the Masterpiece, Who You Are Meant to Be, um, and Be the Masterpiece Playbook, where you can renew your mind and transform your life with a short action step each day. Or I like to draw it out because each one can touch a different part of your being, and it takes a while to process those things. Also have a 100-day planner to strengthen your daily or weekly resolve to transform and improve, because that's what it's all about, right? Um, in response to people looking for items that provide daily reminders, you can check out my new Etsy store as well. That's a really fun thing to have, and I hope that those items are inspiring to you. If you want more, schedule an intuitive mentoring session with me where I can be more specific about your action steps. If you have any questions or want to share your experience, leave a comment. I'll respond. And it's in sharing with others that uh, we express who we are, but we also connect with other people. Years ago, I used to feel like I couldn't talk about my downward spirals because I learned shame. And I know a lot of people are in that same place, but you should not have shame over things that naturally happen because of your circumstances and what's going on. So sharing your experience is not shameful unless you're not willing to move out of it and level up. So I hope that's what you're all here for. Um, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. I appreciate you listening, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And as always, live excellently, give generously, and love lavishly. Thank you.